Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this tournament finals. It's going to be Bretonnia facing off against the Ogre Kingdoms, and the Ogre's coming in with some truly forbidden tech, so there are some elements of the build here from SIPA that are very good. We have the Sky Striders, which are pretty good against Bretonian Cav, Thunder Tusks, which are just very overpowered and good against everything, a Slaughtermaster with healing, but then you get a wild Greasus pick. Now, Greasus is Greasus. He is anti-large and is pretty fighty at sitting on 1 point. So certainly more of like a land battle aesthetic from this build. Get some pigback riders, get some spears, sit in one spot and kind of make the Bretonians fight you. But I'm curious to see if the Greasus is going to work here in this situation. Because this is a tournament finals. There was an SFT the other day, and this is Charix on Bretonnia facing off against SIPA, who I believe is a very skilled land battle player, playing the Ogre Kingdoms here. Now, for the build of Charix, he's going to be using Mounted Yeoman Archers. We have a handful of those. Peasant Mobs with Grail Reliques. And, of course, Alberic is S tier. He's so good. The Braids of Borderlow, the fact that they give 12 bonus source large to everything nearby, that can be Questing Knights, Knights of the Realm, Hippogriff Knights, anything. It is just so freaking good, so I really like that. And we got Grail Knights and the Companions of Quinels, which is pretty badass. So out of the gates here, we do see the Mounted Yeoman Archers, and they're going to be doing some loose battling here with Steven Seagal. So Steven Seagal getting shot by the arrows. This is the Mall Cop, the Gravy Seal, as we do say. But yeah, the Eshin Maneaters are actually quite good, the character, because he does have Mark for Eating. So he can slow the speed, armor, and melee defensive unit. It's really freaking powerful. For example, there's a big fight. Your opponent comes in with the Royal Hippogriff Knights. You mark them for eating, and then suddenly their melee defense is literally 0, and your Sky Striders and other elements are going to be bonking on them. So you can see the tactics of the Ogre Kingdoms really is going to be leaning into Objective 3 here with a couple of Pigback Riders and just kind of chaff-centric units, and then plopping Greasus' fat butt here on the middle, and just holding that and challenging his opponent to break his position. Now, what I suspect Charix will do is try and alpha strike the outside positions, maybe call in some Knights Errant. Or, I mean, he could take the brick fight if he wants to, with the Companions and Alberic, maybe. But Ogre's in a blob with Greasy. Greasy does have some abilities that buff nearby allies. He's leadership, and I don't know if he brought the other one. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, he does have the Over Tyrant's Crown, which is ward save. So Thunder Tusk being very troll here. Going to be moving in and frostbiting the Mounted Yeoman Archer. So they're going to be suffering, as we do see a big cav charge come in from the Sky Striders, flattening the peasant mobs, but they are backed up by a Grail Relique, so they're not going to be going quietly into the night. And overall, a nice little pick here from the Ogre Kingdoms. Able to get some freebies, but Alberic going to come in and return the favor a little bit. Thunder Tusks are still really freaky strong. The Javelin Thrower on top is going to do fat damage, and this is a very risky one for Charix. So advancing up are the Men-at-Arms with Polearms, and on the other side, we got the Grail Knights and Companions with Quinel coming in, and a little bit of an engagement in the middle, actually. Yeoman Archers and Peasant Mobs actually piling in. I mean, the Ogre army is very, very small. They don't have a lot, right? Very elite. But getting this pick here would be quite fat. If you could break the Thunder Tusk, that would be huge. What's the base leadership? 70? I feel like the base leadership on a lot of these big monsters should be like around like 60 or 70, so at least you can kind of surround them, although it is mounted by a character. Grail Knight's thinking about charging here, and it looks like, oh, that's right, everyone has their price as a rampage, so that's probably really good in land battle, luring people to their doom. So he gets the Grail Relique, though, which is really funny. And now there's going to be a bit of a pit fight, and the Grail Knights here are getting freaking smashed by the Sky Striders. You can see a lot of HP going down, but overall, they are returning the favor. The Sky Striders are taking some work, but Troll Guts Overcasted is here, and Greasus is giving that fat 10% ward save, and it's very rare to say, but Greasus here actually is in a good position. And it's probably helping the Ogres trade a lot better in this situation. So Thunder Tusk is going to get broken by the Mighty Bretonian, so Alberic and the Grail Knights and the Companions of Quinel is able to get the break there. But with good proper micro here, SIPA should be able to rally this big beastie here. You can see the value's pretty close, 3.6 against 2.3 with Ogre healing. Pretty close game, actually. And Greasus is now a little bit trapped up with the Men-at-Arms with Polearms, and the Sky Striders are hemorrhaging a fair amount of models. So advancing up is Alberic. So Chad Barrick is on the way in, and he's going after the Thunder Tusk here. And if he can get that thing broken, that's going to be just a massive game-changing play, right? That's huge. Because, like, there's been a lot of healing value put into the Thunder Tusk between the Troll Guts. And I think the only way that maybe SIPA could rally this thing would be to get some Blood Vultures out and attack. He just needs to stay close to it. Okay, good play there. Get the Blood Vultures, fly in there, tarp at Alberic, and see what you can get done. So back here, we can see Objective 3 is going to be owned by the Ogre Kingdoms, and the Mounted Yeoman Archers now just shooting into Greasus' fat flank here. He's sitting at 50 armor, so he's going to be able to tank that. We do see the Ogres calling in basic Ogre bull units. In the meantime, Companions of Quinels are going to be duking it out with Steven Seagal, so the anti-large attacks from these guys certainly will add up, and Steven Seagal probably will lose that fight. His Bullshido will not save him today. On the backside, we get Knights of the Realm being called in, And this is a big determining factor here. Alberic is full tilt going for this. Oh man, that Thunder Tusk is full health too. If that thing came back, it'd be an absolute menace. But it looks like he's going to get the break, which again is a very veteran play by Charx. And for anybody who says like chasing things off the map doesn't matter in domination mode, I mean, come on, dog. It's such a game changer. It is certainly probably a little bit more relevant in the olden days kind of game of the land battle, but yeah, it's very, very relevant here too, especially more so for like big monsters and things like that. But yeah, so Greasus is going to be parked under the point, value trading 4.2 against 5.8. So Charx is doing pretty well. A lot of the healing value was invested in that big beastie here. Sky Strider is going to get dragged down by the halberds and just various chaff units. And waves of peasants are on their way in while Steven Seagal continues his glorious Bullshido battle here. The Gravy Seal tactics, the Mall Cop himself. We're going to see if he can get it done, but I seriously doubt it. I think the Companions of Quinels will be able to beat him. And on top of that, Alberic is going to be returning from his crusade here, from his errantry quest, and he's going to be hunting down the Ogres. Now, the Ogres somehow got a triple cap during all that. We do see them setting on all 3 points. The Pigback Riders are very, very tough to break. Grail Guardians over here running over some Noblar Trappers. And now Alberic with the heroic killing blow. Oh, he got rampaged by Everyone Has Their Price. Chad play coming in from Sepa. And look, we got to give a shout out to our boy Sepa here for bringing Greasus. Although I suspect in land battle he might actually have applications, because in land battle you basically just sit in a box with this kind of a tactic, right? With your big SE and healing box, and you rampage people into it with Everyone Has Their Price. But Greasus gets taken out, the Over Tyrant down. Alberic able to get the pick there. So Charx now is going to be resurgent. He's probably going to be able to take some ground. Noblar's base leadership is pretty low. You can see it's at 45. A negative 16 on that is going to be a disaster. Knights of the Realm and Peasant Mobs going to be securing Objective 1. Objective 2 also going to be going to the Bretonnians, and it looks like Objective 3 is going to be going to them as well. So here we do see the Bretonnians moving up, Knights of the Realm pressing, and the Butcher of the Maw gets hunted down by Alberic. And also we do see the dreaded Eshin Maneater here being, brought down by the Horde of Peasants. So the Peasants, they got their pitchforks. This is a fair fight for Steven Seagal here. You can take on the Peasants. Although all jokes aside, Eshin Maneaters, like I said, very, very strong unit. I think Ogres can definitely get some insane plays out of them. And I mean, if it takes down the Damsel here, that's a huge win. Damsel's gone, healing's gone. But I do think at this point the game is probably over with the Thunder Tusk and Greasus and the Slaughtermaster all being karate chopped. You can see the Companions of Quinels getting some serious work done. That's probably going to be all she wrote. On the backside, Knights of the Realm going to go grab that point. Probably going to be a triple cap here in a moment. In this glorious duel of fates, as Alberic, the Borderlow, is going to be duking it out in the backfield. So GG, well played, I think. We'll stay for a minute longer to see if there's going to be any sort of forbidden tech, any forbidden sauce here in this game, but I suspect it's going to be a tap out here in a moment, and there it is. All right, my veteran instincts were correct. So this was the grand finals of an SFT, and it was a very competitive SFT, actually. So shout out to Sepa for getting to the finals, probably using Greasus in multiple games, but that's some forbidden land battle tech there that Everyone Has Their Price. You forget that it has a rampage on it. Maybe I'll play. I know Anticity was trolling me to play a little SFT action with Greasus. Maybe I'll do it. I feel like if you can just use a cheese build like this and kind of get that far, I mean, that's obviously he's a very good player too. But yeah, that's fun. But yeah, not the most meta Ogre build, right? Like, I don't know what the restrictions were on Thunder Tusks. They should be restricted to 1, but yeah, it still was not a bad build. The Rampage, really, if that Thunder Tusk comes back and supports Greasus and then the healing starts to compound, it can become a very scary game for Bretonnia. But Charx was able to chase very well. And this was actually the first Bretonian SFT victory we've had this season. And what's really funny is later in the day, Anticity went and won 1-2. You guys, of course, saw that on stream. Amazing game. And they have very different playstyles. I was watching some of the replays. I asked Charx to send me his Bretonian replays from that tournament. Charx really used Alberic a lot and would use a fair amount of Elite Cav with these Grail Guardians and Compels, Companions of Quinels. Whereas Anticity really leaned into the single entity play a little bit more. He was using Green Knight, and of course he was using Alberic also, but Charx, I didn't notice as much Green Knight from him, although he was in reserve as well. But yeah, still very fun stuff. GG well played to these mighty champions. And yeah, this is the coolest part about us issuing challenges for players to win with Bretonnia, is that now Bretonnia is sitting above 50% win rate. People are diving in and exploring the options that Bretonnia has in competitive and finding out ways to win competitive SFTs, which is super fun, right? Because it's very easy to write factions off, but that I think is really the beauty of Total War Warhammer, is that even the factions that are perceived as the worst, if you get a high level player on them that really dives into the nitty gritty of what they can do, they can come in and beat meta factions. And this wasn't the only hard matchup that Bretonnia had to play today. Bretonnia, Charx had to play a lot of just top tier players. Granted, Charx, I think, is number 2 on leaderboard right now. Very, very strong. But yeah, cool to see Sipa here as well. I'd love to see Sipa play a little bit more domination mode. It's always fun seeing some land battle folks come over. We've had a couple of them get over. Butcherbird was doing very well. Ash also doing very well. So there's been a handful of those guys that have come over and won tournaments, which is super hyped to see. All right, GG, well played. See you guys around, and that's going to be it for tonight.